we're going to go through the best ways to level up your magic skills. There's some information that I want to lead with so that people don't feel forced to sit in one spot casting the same spell over and over again. This is not necessary, and if you look at my skills, I did 0 active grinding to get my Conjuration and Destruction to 100, and the only quests that we've actually done in this playthrough, and you can see it live on my live streams if you wish to, for those that want to say that it's not true, all we've actually done is the Mage Guild quest line and the arena. All of the rest of the game is still there to play with, so therefore, so long as the magic that you're intending to use is magic you're intending to use, you don't really need to target farm your magic stats in particular. Just use them using the information I'm about to give you, and you'll find that they level quite comfortably anyway. I know some people are probably going to say something like you make a leveling spell and spam it, so I'm going to show you guys that the old way in the previous game doesn't work. For clarity, it used to be the case that each time you cast a spell successfully, so whether it was a damage spell on an enemy or a spell on yourself, that spell would give you an amount of XP within the skill. That's still kind of true. So if we look at my illusion skill here, we can see that we are almost a quarter up, right? So if I use this 1 mana spell here, even twice, you probably still won't really see the XP gain because it's going to be pretty low. Barely even moved the needle. Now, if I switch to my higher level spell here, which costs much more mana, we'll see that it goes up by a significantly larger amount. Now, of course, we can't see numbers. Judging from how it has been as I've been playing, it seems the XP gain is more efficient the higher tier of the spell and the more mana that you spend on the spell. Those that are going to stand around casting the lowest level spell are going to be punished through time here. You obviously can do that, it's possible, but it's going to be much quicker if you simply use a higher level spell. We're going to go around each specific type of magic. We'll get a spell and a vendor for each type of spell, and then we'll talk about ramping up the tier of that spell as well. Just know that basically the way this is best played is to use a spell of your current tier. So the reason my Conjuration went so high was because as soon as I got to level 50, I got the Dremora Churl, and then at 75, we went to the Daedroth, and that just absolutely destroyed my skill. And the same thing happened with Destruction. I made a spell called Mayhem, which was quite good, and it just kind of snowballs out as you continue to make better and higher level spells. This is the same across other skills, so if anybody's wondering, this fixes the mercantile issue of we used to have to sell items individually because it was based on per transaction. Now it's based on the value of the item. So this is kind of cool because it means if you sell a really high value item, even though you're not getting all of the gold for it, you will get more mercantile skill, which is kind of nice, although not necessarily once you get towards the back ends of the game. In terms of armor though, I actually don't know. If I was going to recommend to get a skill trained each level, it's going to be heavy armor for anybody that's following along the series, because I feel like I'm talking to multiple audiences right now. And armor is still the same, I guess, because you're just hammering the same gear. I'm going to start out with Conjuration because this snowballs your damage and restoration skills, because obviously if you get good Conjuration, you can use your summons to level your destruction skill. You can also use it to level your restoration skill as well if you wish to, but you can use yourself for that. You can also use your Conjuration to level up your aggressive skills, so things like hand-to-hand. You can use it to level up your heavy armor as well, and this kind of thing. So being as I think Conjuration is most important, that's the one we're going to start with. Conjuration then, you're generally going to want to head over to the Coral Mages Guild. I'm not sure if you need to join the guild anyway, but you should be able to access spells once you get here. Gonna head on inside. Now, I like to summon creatures. You're basically just going to want to see Mr. Athragar here, and you're going to want to, I assume because I already have the spell, I can't really buy Summon Skeleton. But get yourself the basic Summon Skeleton and build your way up the summon chain, and you'll have no problem being able to do that. So that's where you're going to get your summon spells from. Again, once you have a base spell, you can make more powerful versions by spell crafting, so we'll go over that at the end very quickly. For your destruction spells, you're going to want to come to Skin Grab, where you'll be able to find a decent selection of vendors. We have Sullinus here. All we need for spell crafting purposes, so that you can scale this as we're going forward, are the base elements. So once you have a fire spell, you can create any kind of fire spell. Once you have a frost spell, you can create any kind of frost. And once you have shock, any kind of shock. You might want to get Soul Trap whilst you're here, although it's not necessary because I usually use a sword to inflict that. You get the weakness as well, so you can actually combine this. So for example, you can put weakness to frost on a frost spell and have that proc on itself. So it's quite powerful to get the weaknesses as well. And just getting the base variant is going to allow you to craft those. Generally speaking, obviously you want something that goes on other, but even like flame touch, I can just go ahead, I can summon your skeleton, and then you would put on your destruction spell and then cast that on your summon, and you are going to be getting your destruction experience that way. That's if you do not want to just actually naturally level up your destruction as you are exploring the world, which is generally my actual recommendation, is to just use the skills naturally as you're playing the game. For your illusion spells, you're going to want to come to Prevail. There's multiple vendors here, but I'm pretty sure it's Delphine. Obviously, once I've bought the spells, I can't exactly see them. When it comes to illusion, there's a bit of a startup here. You're going to need to start out with, I think it's called Candlelight. So you need to start with a low-level light spell first, and then once you've leveled up a bit, you'll be able to purchase and use Chameleon, which I've already purchased, so it's not in my list here. The reason for that is because the Chameleon spell requires you to reach Journeyman before you can actually start using the Chameleon spells, which means you'll need to use light to get to level 50 in your illusion before you can start using the cool stuff and basically going invisible. So just make sure you get 2 sets of spells there, and obviously as you're going around, if you see something else you're going to want in the future, the whole point of going around the Mages Guilds, and the reason we're supposed to go around for the recommendations, is that you are experiencing and collecting all of the different types of magic so it can craft all of your spells properly as you are going through the game on your magical journey. And whilst you are in Reveal, you want to see Eta Rhinus, as she should sell you the low-level Detect Life spell, which is how you're going to get started with your mysticism skill. So make sure you pick that one up. Again, I've already purchased this, so it's not in my list, but I have double-checked, so that is where you want to go for your mysticism as well. Next up, you're going to want to get Defend. You get this from the Anvil Mages Guild, and you'll want to come and see this dude here, Mr. Thorin. Again, it's not going to be in his menu, just to show you that he does have the alteration skills. You also get the low level Ease Burden and Open Easy Lock. I guess Ease Burden probably works just as much as Shield, but I prefer Shield. If you see effects you like, and just remember you can put these onto items if you wish to as well. So sometimes just getting the effect for things you want to enchant things with can be worth it. And then for some restoration spells, you want to head to Leowyn, where we're actually going to visit the chapel. So we're going to head on inside, have a look around. You should be able to find Aphros Addis right here. And he's going to give us the Fortify spells, as well as some minor healing spells that you can use to get yourself started. I'm going to recommend something like Fortify Endurance, because that's nice and easy to cast, and in the end I suspect most people are going to want to have some Fortify Health or Magicka, so getting those base spell types are going to be pretty useful for most people, so just make sure you're going to go ahead and grab that. Cure Disease is useful as well. And now to level, or at least to start leveling, all you need to do is cast those spells on yourself. Now I'm sure some people, they're going to be following my playlist, they're going to be worried about how they're going to restore mana. Well, don't worry, I got you covered. And this is for the atronach players specifically. I have a route that we can use where we can infinitely regain mana from some Ayleid wells. So we'll go around the route. As we're loading in here, I just want to say to people, because somebody tried telling me that the atronach absorbs your own spells. Let me assure you that it doesn't in the remake anymore. Those saying that the atronach is useless at endgame because you absorb your own buffs, that is a lie. Whoever told you that didn't check. What this means is we can come over to the Ayleid well. I'm going to attack here, but just to prove a point, we can go ahead, we can restore our mana from this. I'm going to deal with these enemies, 1 sec. So anyways, we are able to come to these wells, absorb the mana out of the wells once per day. So that means we can stand here and we can cast the spells to gain magic XP. However, you want to stop 50 short of where the end of your mana bar is. We are actually able to enter a state where we are in negative mana. And if that happens, it won't actually let you activate the next well. So if you find you're getting issues with that, it's because, you see I'm on 92 right now, in our magic effects, we're getting 50 from the well itself, and if that wears off, that'll put us in negative, and then the well stops working. But once we've exhausted our mana and we want to get some more, all we need to do now is wait 24 hours, because we can use these once per day. As you can see here, this one that wasn't ready is now ready to go. I can activate that, draw power from the well, burn it all off, level up my skill, and then continue waiting for another 24 hours, rinse and repeat until whatever magic skill that I'm currently training is complete. So now that we have the spell effects that we need, we have anybody, regardless of sign or race, can infinitely level. Let's talk about ramping up that XP and how we can just make sure that we are getting the most out of our book. We're obviously going to be using the Imperial University, because people are going to talk about this Frostcrag Spire here, but you need about 7k worth of gold, and I reckon I can fast travel to each of the towns and get the recommendation and the base spell so that we can access the Arcane University faster than I can get 7k to upgrade the Frostcrag. Anybody that's using exploits, your opinion is completely irrelevant because people want to play the game. They don't want to cheat. Of course, I'm going to use the Archmage stand for this, but all you really need to do normally is just go out into the back once you've got all the recommendations and you'll be fine. I'm going to head on up though. And we want to use our altar of spell making. So the idea is going to be that you want to create a spell that you can cast several times, and the more expensive you're going to make it that you are able to cast, the better the result is going to be. In this case, we're going to get that to 12 out of 12 at the bottom, which is, I assume, a capacity. We might name the spell something like Leveling Resto. Generally, you want these spells to be on self if you can, unless you're doing destruction, in which case, obviously, you're going to be attacking your own summon. Confirm that out and create it. And now I have my very own level restoration spell, which I can spam until we level up. Do that with any of the different magic disciplines that you need to level up, and you'll be all good. You can get as much leveling done out of this as possible. And yes, I have used a self buff on purpose. I am currently running like 70% magic absorption, and no, it does not fail on the atronach.